Hello and welcome to Vox, a Formula One podcast. I am Pierre Gasly's pepperoni nipples, Shannon Hayes.
I am the team-sponsored girlfriend, Kelly PK, Sam Cockcroft.
And I am Daniel Kvyat's lost dream, Meryl Huseman.
All right, so today we are going to be going over everything Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Alpha Tauri in recent years, focusing on everyone's favorite Formula One villain, Helmut Marko, and his role with the team and all of the drivers. I guess I don't know where to start. Don't like that this is my
Start
episode.
from the beginning.
Start at the beginning.
All right.
51 years ago.
However many years ago Helmut Marko was born. He sucked from the very beginning. He was born in 1943. He's currently 77 years old.
Oh.
And is notorious for just playing favorites among the Red Bull team and basically just being terrible to everybody besides those people. So I think, as we currently know, Max Verstappen is that person. But he is a former driver, but he did not even race a full season in Formula One. I feel like this is similar to the Jos Verstappen story of people who now have an important role in Formula One but never actually did anything with the sport when they were drivers. So he competed in 10 races between 1971 and 1972. And during those 10 races, scored no points.
Oh my god.
He was more successful with endurance racing. He competed in Le Mans 3 times, and he won in 1970 and 1971. But then after that, kind of took a more business route and left Formula One and racing, but then rejoined the sport by starting his own team in 1989 called RSM Marko, and it competed in F3 and F3000, which was the racing championship that took the place of F2 for a couple, I guess it was maybe 15 years that F3000 was a thing.
3,000?
Yeah.
What is the 3,000 for?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I read that and I was like, what is this? I've never heard of you. And then it said that it was replaced F2 for a little bit as the one of the feeder series, but it was discontinued or kind of just folded and gotten rid of in 2004. But this team in 1999 became the Red Bull Junior team. And in that same year, Helmut Marko started running Red Bull's driver development program, and his current title is the head of team's driver development. So he is essentially in charge of all of the programs and looking at young drivers who he thinks will be a good fit on the team in the future. So his playing favorites didn't begin with Max Verstappen. We're going all the way back to 2009 when a young Sebastian Vettel joined Red Bull.
Okay, but that's understandable. He's everyone's favorite.
I guess. With the whole playing favorites thing, it's fine. Everybody has a favorite, just the same way every parent probably has a favorite kid. But you don't talk about it.
It's true. You don't
admit it.
Yeah. So let's just give some examples from the 2010 season. In the British Grand Prix, Vettel had an upgraded front wing, and it broke in the middle of the race, and he got Mark Webber's.
Oh.
So they literally took a part from the other driver and gave it to the favorite driver.
What? They said, "You're not using this, right?"
Yeah. And then in the 2010 Turkish Grand Prix, Mark Webber and Sebastian Vettel crash. Basically, everybody blamed Webber for it, mostly because that was what Helmut Marko's stance was. And Mark Webber published an autobiography later on and said, this is a quote, "To maintain harmony within the team, and you've got to remember there were 800 people involved, the focus had to be on keeping Marko happy, which meant making sure Vettel's side of the garage was happy." So, very clear bias toward Vettel. And then all of this pretty much continued on until Mark Webber retired in 2013. And the quote, one of the, I guess not really a quote, but just Helmut Marko's view on the whole stance was that Mark Webber was inconsistent, unable to handle pressure, and fell easily into downward spirals. And Mark Webber's view on the whole thing was it's difficult not to agree with with Helmut Marko. So basically, if he said this thing that Mark Webber was ready to leave, Helmut, like, everybody would agree with him, and that was basically the consensus.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Jumping ahead a little bit, in 2014, young Daniel Kvyat joins Toro Rosso. He was previously really successful. He finished runner-up in the 2012 Euro Cup Formula Renault championship, and then won the Formula Renault Alp Series and 2013 GP3 Series. So he was successful in other things, definitely warranted this promotion. And then in 2015, Vettel decided to move to Ferrari, probably much to Helmut Marko's dismay, and they moved Kvyat up to Red Bull, and he took his place on the team alongside Daniel Ricciardo, which I didn't realize Ricciardo had been at Red Bull that long, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't realize that Danny Kvyat had been on Red Bull. I thought he was always a Toro Rosso man.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the original demotion story of
wow. That's sad.
Yeah, Red Bull. So he had a pretty good season, I feel like, in my opinion. He started out doing really well in 2015 Hungarian Grand Prix. He got his first podium and was at the time the second youngest driver to finish on the podium, only behind Sebastian Vettel. So he was doing very well. And he finished the end of the season with 95 points. He finished in 7th place, and he finished 3 points ahead of Daniel Ricciardo.
Ooh.
Whoa.
He had a good rookie season.
Yeah.
In 2016, I think the first couple of races were a little bit rough for him, but on the third race, he podiumed again. He finished in 3rd place, and it was Red Bull's first podium of the season.
Wow.
And then a couple races later, at the Russian Grand Prix, his home race, he collides with Vettel at the start of the race, and team management, aka most likely just Helmut Marko, decides to demote him back to Toro Rosso, and he's now racing along Carlos Sainz.
What the fuck? Just because he's still horny for Vettel? Vettel's not even on your team anymore.
How did that happen? What?
So, I haven't watched the crash. I don't actually know, like, the full situation, but it seems very presumptuous to demote him after essentially what was, like, one mistake.
Yeah.
And after a pretty good run.
Yeah.
But
wait, who replaced him at Red Bull? Do you know?
Max Verstappen. Yeah, so I just have a quote here from Christian Horner. He said, "Danny will be able to continue his development at Toro Rosso in a team that he's familiar with, giving him the chance to regain his form and show his potential." Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Wow, that is verbatim the same thing he said. Oh my god, it's Pierre.
Yeah. So
that's creepy.
Yeah, so now Max Verstappen takes his place at Red Bull. So, I mean, essentially, like, everybody knew Max was a really good driver, and I don't think that was, like, surprising to anybody. I just don't know if it was, like, the timing felt just really rude and disrespectful. But while he was at Toro Rosso before being bumped up to Red Bull, Max had already made it very clear that he was a good driver. He had almost finished in the points in his first race, and then finally did score points in his second race, and he broke the record for youngest driver to score points. His entire, like, biography is essentially, like, breaks this record as the youngest person to do this, next youngest like, he's just always consistently the youngest person to do all of these different things in F1. But then also, while he was still at Toro Rosso, so this is before they decided to promote him, he was involved in a crash with Romain Grosjean, which I mean, not really surprising. But Felipe Massa at that time kind of dubbed him as dangerous. Verstappen, like, didn't really care that much. He, like, hit back and was like, yeah, but you've done the same thing, so it's not really, this is not just me who has been involved in these kinds of incidents. But there was still, like, already talk of him being a, like, dangerous kind of driver, and they still decided to promote him over somebody who had proven that he was really good on the team and also only had one of those kinds of incidents at the time. So clearly playing favorites already. And then at Red Bull, Max obviously did very well. In his first 8 races, he achieved 6 top 5 finishes, including 4 podiums. So he's just always been really talented.
Yeah.
And then there was also just general criticism of his driving when he did crash into Raikkonen later on in that season. And Raikkonen said he was going to cause a huge accident sooner or later. So nobody was surprised. But Christian Horner decides to defend him, and he says, like, oh, he'll learn from this. It was just a, mistake. He was a little on edge while he was driving, whatever.
Interesting. Max learns from his crashes, but Danny can't?
Yes, exactly. But then there's just one thing that I did want to point out, though, that, like, I guess my last thing about Max that I have, finishing on a positive note, because it's hard to criticize him. Like, none of this is his fault. And he's also very talented, so he, like, does deserve the position that he's in. It just sucks that somebody else had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I guess I'm surprised, like, why was it not Ricardo
that
they chose to demote?
Yeah, because he was doing worse.
But anyways, so 26 Brazilian Grand Prix, Max has to pit, has his tires changed, comes out in 16th place with just 15 laps left in the race, and ends up finishing in 3rd. So I think what's hard is that, like, it's so hard to look at what happened to Kvyat and how it ended up for him, but also Red Bull definitely doesn't feel like they made the wrong decision when you look at what Max has done.
I mean, look at where Max is at now compared to Daniel, so...
Yeah.
He's got his girlfriend, he's basically got his child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He speed ran that. He was like, family, done.
Yeah,
I did that shit.
It's crazy, though, because he's been in Formula 1 for so long. I think everybody imagines him as so much older than he is.
Yeah.
But he was, like, 6 years younger than all of these guys when he started.
God.
Yeah. And some of the, like, talk when Kvyat was originally demoted was about how they have, like, almost ended his racing career, essentially, which it did happen later on, now that he's kind of out for the time being, but he wouldn't have been in the position that he is in now if it wasn't for that, like, decision that year.
It's kind of shitty because I always thought of Kvyat as, like, a mid-range driver, but the fact that he was actually, like, a front-of-the-pack driver if they had just put him in the better car, like...
Yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, and he did sit out for a season after he wasn't able to secure a seat after being, like, let go from Toro Rosso. He was I think either a development or test driver for Ferrari for a time, for that year, and then came back to Toro Rosso for a little bit and is now back in the kind of secondary position as a what is his title again? He's a reserve driver for Alpine now.
Yeah, for Alpine.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens to him, but he goes back to Toro Rosso. He takes his year off and he comes back, and by that point Carlos Sainz had moved on and he's now racing with Pierre Gasly.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like now is a good time to talk about the Pierre Gasly article that he wrote now a couple weeks ago, I guess. Where he focused. Yeah, it's been time really flew by with that one. But he talked a lot about his friendship with Antoine Hubert, who died in 2019 at the Belgian F2 race, and also a lot about kind of growing up and kind of getting into Formula One. And also had a similar career trajectory as Daniel Kvyat after being promoted to Red Bull for a time and then later demoted back down to Toro Rosso. But he's since proven them wrong.
He sure has.
Yes, he sure has. So, yeah, I mean, we can talk about the article a little bit. I thought it was just crazy to him talking about how young he was when he started karting and then when he moved away, because he went to boarding school with Antoine. It was like, I think a lot of other athletes who were also competing, and he spent while they were the only two that were kind of going off and doing races, everybody else was doing their other kinds of sports. So he was always like kind of on the outside of that, and then also just away from his family by like age 10, which was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I thought also that I don't know, it was just so sad, like how he wrote about Antoine's death. Like, it was just very touching.
Yeah. What I think was just crazy is how he first of all talked about how they were just like brothers essentially, and they just grew up together and always imagined them doing all of these things together. And
also like how he said it could have been him, like, you know,
yeah,
it's because it could have easily been anyone else. Like,
yeah, I think that's like what it makes all of those pictures of him up on the podium when he won, that like it makes all of them just like so much more emotional, seeing him there sitting like by himself and knowing that he's thinking about Antoine and how he should have been up there with him and been able to celebrate with him. But highly recommend that read for anybody who has not read it yet. But yeah, so he raced at Toro Rosso for a season and then was promoted to Red Bull after Daniel Ricciardo left, and then apparently just was not performing to the same level. I mean, he did have room to grow, but I feel like they should have given him a little bit more time before replacing him with Alex Albon. But yeah, I think we're all pretty clear on the Albon story as recent as that was. So since then, Gasly has been at Alpha Tauri, its new name. He's been really successful, lots of potential, but Helmut Marko is still being a dick. So recently there was the article that came out of Helmut Marko saying that Max would have been faster than Gasly in that car after the Bahrain Grand Prix, basically saying that if Max was in Gasly's position, he would have done better, which nobody asked you. I don't know what, like...
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, this is not really necessary.
That's ridiculous to say, like...
Also, he's fully missing a front wing. What the hell are you talking about? Like... Also, why would you weigh in like that? Who cares? Max wasn't in that car, so it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, it makes more sense to make that analysis of if it was a promotion thing, like, if it was literally, like, him arguing that, oh, Pierre would have been faster in Max's car. That makes sense from his position as the leader of the Alpha. Like, that makes sense to advocate for your own drivers, not to dunk on them and be like, yeah, the driver that's on the better team, that's a front runner, would have been way faster than this midfield driver. Like, that doesn't make any sense as a thing to say. You could say the same thing for Lewis Hamilton. You'd probably be right, but, like, who needs to say it? Fuck. Like, leave your drivers alone.
Yeah, I just don't really understand, like, why do we care? But this is just one of many instances in which Pierre has talked about just not really feeling welcome and feeling comfortable with the team, and just they've been treating him very terribly just from the, like, Red Bull side of things. Which is, you know, probably not a secret as to why he's been doing better now that he's a little bit more distanced from those people in that team.
Yeah.
And the way that he was even demoted was, like, pretty terrible. He just kind of got, like, a phone call that was like, yeah, you're not coming back. And it was, like, you should have a little bit more respect for your drivers that have put in so much work. And even if it's not the results that you may have wanted, that they're obviously trying. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so there's lots of kind of quotes about that. There was one thing of Gasly talking about just like it was never going to work, like I was never going to be a good fit on the team. It's one of the things that he said. So he just didn't feel supported after he made just like his first mistake, which is understandable as a young driver at a new team. And then to not have that support behind you going forward, like obviously you're not going to perform at that level. But, you know, now he's back in hopefully the more supportive environment of Alpha Tauri. Alongside this year's, at least my favorite rookie of the year. Sorry, Mick.
Yeah.
But none other than Yuki Tsunoda, our youngest driver on the grid.
Yes, Yuki.
He was born on May 11th of 2000. So
That's so crazy.
So he's a Taurus.
he's he's the youngest and the shortest driver on the grid. He is. I want to know how tall he is. I knew he's like 5 feet, I think. Why do you look so
very
surprised?
small. I thought he was a little bigger than that.
No.
He's a short king. We
Yeah.
love him.
Yeah.
I thought he was like 5'5" or something.
I'm 5'5".
Yeah. Is he not like...
No, he would be like significantly shorter than me if we were next to each other.
Wow. Short king. We love him.
Yeah.
We do love him.
Yes.
We do. And yeah, I mean, he's pretty much crushed it from day one.
Yeah.
He's been backed by Honda since 2016. So he's not actually really coming through the Red Bull program, but from Honda, which I think is pretty good. He finished third in the F2 championship last year in his rookie season. So he was the highest rookie finisher last year. And he won, this is a new thing, he won the Antoine Hubert Award for last year. For that, which I think is really cool that he now has an award named after him. And they also retired his number. So they don't race with number 19 anymore. But yeah. So he has been super successful. His like trajectory into F1 was super fast because he was just killing it every step of the way. Yeah. So he's been doing really well in all of his seasons, and his did pretty well in the first race, and hopefully will do well in the rest of the season.
Yo, I'm so hype about Yuki. Just seeing him at Bahrain, I'm just like, I need more Yuki. I can't wait for a Yuki podium this season.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way it's not, like...
So, going back to Helmut Marko a little bit, Yuki might be up there in the new favorites. Marko...
Gasly, though.
Yeah. So Helmut Marko said, I think within the last like couple of days, that Yuki will be on podium soon. So he definitely has faith in him, which is saying a lot, considering he does not have faith in many drivers.
Why is Helmut Marko still there if he's 77? He should be gone.
I mean,
I'll step in.
What's his name? Murray Walker.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He retired in 2000 something, early 2000s, when he was like 70. So he was still active and being successful at that age. I don't know. I don't like him, but not that I don't like Murray. I don't know if that was how that came across. I don't like Helmut Marko.
You dislike Helmut Marko,
Yes.
not Murray Walker.
Yeah, I gotta make that clear. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god. But like, also, I just don't understand why he has such a vested interest in dunking on his own drivers constantly. Yeah. Like,
I just don't understand why this is. I guess this is just how sports have been. Like, why are we not more supportive? Why don't we want people to do well?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that you're
your team member?
Yeah. Why do you think you're gonna get anywhere by shitting on all of them? Like, that's not motivating to people.
Yeah. If you're making Pierre Gasly feel unwelcome at your team, he's probably not going to be performing at his best. Like.
Yeah. So I just some like recent articles. So we said Helmut Marko said that Gasly would have been faster. He said that Tsunoda will podium soon, and he also said that Checo was essentially as fast as Verstappen. So basically, in these recent articles, he's shitting on Gasly and still supporting everybody else. So why?
It's also like, okay, here's my thing on the way that he shits on Gasly, right? It's like, Gasly clearly is a talented driver. I think any F1 fan can see that, first of all. Second of all, if he wasn't, that's a testament to your abilities to scout talent. Like, that's on you, dog. You don't get to, like, you should be investing in your drivers. If you, like, saw a talent in Pierre, you're the one that has to foster that. Like, you can't just, like, bring him on.
And expect, Yeah.
And, like, you have to foster that in him. Like, I don't not like, you know, he's not like a child or anything, but, like, you can't just shit on them endlessly and then be like, why aren't you doing better? Like, that's a testament to your ability. Like, if he's not the talent you thought he was going to be, that's on you. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, like, you need an environment where, like, you can grow. Like, even as drivers, like, sometimes it doesn't come within the first season or, like, even the second season. Like, it can take a while.
Also, speaking to your thing of, like, you need an environment to grow, no one plans on staying on Alpha Tauri or Toro Rosso.
Yeah.
They join that team with the expectation that they're going to go to Red Bull. But the fact that they're like, well, one seat at Red Bull's permanently filled, and then the other one we're going to bully so that we rotate them out every season.
So it's like one season. You get one season at Red Bull.
Not even Pierre gets half, and then he gets replaced by Albon.
Who also gets half.
I understand why, like, they want somebody to do well quickly, because, like, every time that you have a driver that doesn't performing to the level that you want them to do, like, you're losing money as a team. And that's, like, I understand, like, obviously you want to do well, but you're not going to get anywhere with not giving them not even a full season. Gasly got half a season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the point of Toro Rosso is to be the training grounds for future Red Bull drivers. So clearly Toro Rosso isn't performing to its, like, expectations if they have to keep pulling people back down into Toro Rosso every time they graduate someone up to Red Bull. And Red Bull's not doing their job of welcoming people once they're there. Anyway, sorry.
But, like Alpha Tauri is a good team at this point.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to articulate my thoughts very well, but I just am mad at the whole structure of things because it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense the way that they're trying to, like, organize things. There was also an article that was pretty recent from Will Buxton, and he says, "Believe the hype, Alpha Tauri are going to thrill this season." So he is like, yeah, this is it. Like Yuki is gonna do super well. Gasly has already done super well and will continue to do so. Like, this is the team to be watching.
Yeah.
But if you take any of those drivers and you put them in the toxic environment of Red Bull, obviously they're not going to do very well because they don't have the support of their team that they like know and who's actually just helped them grow.
I agree. Also, like, they're clearly talented drivers because they keep podiuming. Everyone's very excited about Alpha Tauri. Like, they're obviously already talented drivers. So, like, when you remove all other elements, it's the team environment that's causing them to fail. You take a very good driver and you put them in a better car and then they start to do worse. You know it's not the driver or the car. You know it's the team environment when you're constantly shitting on them and, like, fucking stealing their front wing and putting it on the other driver.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it's just so clear that that's the reason that these drivers are not doing well. And it's just like, how can you be so blind to what your actions are doing to other people?
Yeah.
And
really, like, to yourself, to your own team.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, I also, like, it's not even just Helmut Marko. Like, Christian Horner is just as equally shitty,
he does
in my
it
opinion.
Too. Like, Christian Horner is the one that, like, put Max on the pedestal and now won't let him go. Like, Christian Horner is the one that is, like, making it so that Max has that seat, you know? Also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Christian Horner posts so much about Max on his social media. Like, his whole social media is Max Verstappen. There's not, like, barely any mention of anyone else. It's just Max. Like,
not even his family,
his kids. More Max than his family.
He's married to a Spice Girl, but all he can talk about is Max Verstappen.
Yeah. How sad.
God. Christian Horner, give me your wife.
Yeah.
If you won't appreciate her, I will.
I feel like I said this last week too. I have to keep going back to that Drive to Survive moment when they're sitting around his kitchen table and he's asking all of his kids who their favorite driver is.
Sebastian.
And like the look on his face, he was like, how could my own child betray me like this? And then his wife asks him, who's your favorite driver? And rather than being honest and saying Max, like we know is true, he decides to go, whoever wins. What kind
Yeah.
of dumbass answer is that? Come on.
From that same episode, my favorite thing that he says is like, he's like, oh, you know, like, I'm busy managing the Red Bull team, and, you know, Geraldine has her music thing. Not, like, he just totally blows off the fact that she's a Spice Girl. He says, her music thing. That shit kills me every time.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I would have left him if I were her. She can do better.
Christian, she is out of your league.
Yeah.
Like, you have to stay humble, my dude. You have to know this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. I think that might be about it in terms of the Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Alpha Tauri drama. I don't even know what to call it. But
Drama-rama.
yeah, I have my tabs for all of my research open, and it says I grouped them, and one of them, the one about Helmut Marko, is called Red Bull Sucks. Anyways.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's it. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Hopefully both of the Alpha Tauri boys can prove how fucking awesome they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
think
they
they
will.
will.
I think we're going to see a Yuki podium. I'm hoping for
Yeah.
another Pierre podium. I think we might see it. I think we might get another Pierre podium.
Yeah.
I can only hope.
I think
Imagine both of them same day. Same podium day. Lose my mind.
That'd be
Imagine Max
insane.
not on podium.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Albon, like, imagine Max has, like, Corona, or, like, Perez has Corona, and it's like, it's gonna be Gasly, Yuki, Albon.
This is our
podium.
revenge fantasy
Yeah.
that we all want.
Yeah. Well, two things. First, I'm surprised that Max has not had COVID yet, or he had it and he didn't tell us, because I just I'm skeptical of the whole situation. Also, can we talk about his skinny jeans?
No, we can't. Actually,
No.
I'm ending this conversation before it stops. I can't talk about those ripped jeans that he wears sometimes. I can't talk about the Max Verstappen fashion. It's not good.
So bad.
It's bad.
It's
not
like,
good.
can you imagine? I just can't even imagine walking out of the house and thinking that would look good.
A lot of people here in the Netherlands love it. It's like the frat boy look here. That's like what the frat
It's
boys
not good.
wear. No, I know.
It's like Justin Bieber circa
so bad.
2013. Like, it's bad.
It's worse than that. The jeans are even
It's-
tighter. They're like full
I-
jeggings.
I think it's also, like, doesn't he have a deal with G-Star or something? I think he has to wear them.
But do they not make
very
normal
funny.
cut jeans?
I don't know, probably. Yeah, he probably gets to pick what kind of jeans
Yeah,
he
this is on him.
It's on him.
The fact that he chooses the ripped ones, I'm
True.
not about it. I am so against it.
No. I can't even look at him.
God. Meryl, why are the Dutch people like this? Please
It's
give us
only-
your perspective.
It's all the
It's like-
Europeans.
Can you tell us in Dutch, actually?
Ja, dus de reden waarom mensen dit doen... No, I think it's like, I don't know, it's all the frat boys, or like all those, I don't know, it's the boys that like hang around like after school and like smoke a cigarette and like, you know, those cool dudes, they all wear those jeans.
It's not just like Dutch people. Like, I've seen the same thing with like stupid
Yeah,
Spanish
in Spain
boys. Like,
too.
yeah.
I don't know why. It's like the
European fuckboy
yeah,
fashion.
but like
never did I think that I would think American boys dressed better.
That's true. We've
we
truly done a 180, because like when we were, teens, it was always like, oh, European men's fashion is so much better than the States, I wish. And now it's like, oh my god.
I think the problem is we were comparing European men to American boys.
European men know how to dress, but like
Yeah,
the boys.
okay.
If you're
That's
looking
fair.
at the same level of like your average like 19-year-old in both countries.
It's both bad.
Yeah. I mean, they're both bad, but
Not good all around.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Anyways.
if that about does it
Yeah.
for this week's episode. Sam, do you actually want to do the socials? Because I clearly can't be trusted to do it anymore.
Let's all do it at the same time. 3,
All right.
2, 1. Thank you
Thank
for
you
listening.
so much for listening.
If you
Please
want to
feel free to
follow us
on our
feel free
socials.
to go
Socials.
to our
Our
socials
box,
at
podcast on
Podcast.
Instagram,
Twitter,
TikTok,
we are
and
Box
Podcast on
on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening. Ciao.
Aloha. Well, I don't remember what else do you say besides the socials. I know the socials, but like, you say something else, don't you?
I usually say thanks for listening
Okay.
about 10 times.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, thanks for listening. Feel free to follow us on our socials. We are Box Pod
I think
on Twitter. No, I can't do it either. Oh God,
No one can do it.
I was
Meryl,
still gonna
can you
push
do
through, but I fucked
I
up.
don't think I can. Okay.
I forgot.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. If you want to follow us.
I was gonna say if you want to subscribe to us on like Spotify, but then I was like, that's not a thing that we've ever said before. Oh God.